little more. A little more. Very good. So we are now live on two platforms. This is the Love and Relationships show with Wanda Harrell, and
Morgan Burrell. Hey everybody, how you doing tonight?
we have a unique topic this tonight. Our topic is: can men and women be platonic friends? Meaning, if you're in a relationship and you have a woman, or if you're in a relationship and you have a man, can you have friends of the opposite sex and keep it just friends? And your thought process on this, Morgan, is
I would say sometimes. I think that there's a lot of different circumstances that are dependent on one, who are the two people in a relationship.
okay.
Two, how recent did you meet this friend? Is it like a childhood friend, a family friend,
So
or did you just
childhood friends and family friends don't hit on you.
no, that's not true. But I think that like if you're in a relationship
Context of the friendship.
yeah, so like if you're in a relationship and they had the friend before you came into the picture,
Okay.
as long as they respect the relationship, you can't be like, oh, you can't be friends with them because that happened before, you came into the picture. But if it was you're in a relationship and your partner is going out and seeking new friends, then I'd be like, well, what do you need new friends for? You have friends and you have me.
But I think that the process of making friends. I mean, in my line of work, I'm always meeting new and interesting people,
Hmm.
and I like to make friends. And just recently, I met a sister, and the last thing I said to her was, definitely call me because I don't have enough female friends. And I mean, I'm not saying that in a sexual way at all. She was extremely interesting. She had a different life, and I would like to talk to her with a very interesting conversation, and I'd like to have more interesting conversations. So my thought process is that men and women can be platonic friends, but usually it depends upon how the man views that friendship.
Hmm.
Would you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think the man's perception does play a big role a lot of the time. Question. So, are you in a relationship?
Not a committed one, no.
Okay. Well
I date
then,
on occasion.
okay. So I think it's just a little different if like you're not in a relationship and you like, okay, you just made a friend. Cool. Like,
But
and
when I was
especially
married, I made friends.
so especially if the situation is like you guys met each other through work, through some sort of, I don't know, something that you're involved in. I think that's a little different from like you going out and intentionally like seeking a friend. So let's say like you're at a club,
I
right?
don't.
And you meet
Well, you don't
someone.
look for friends at clubs.
Right,
If you go
that's
to a
true.
club, you're looking for a intimate or a sexual relationship or something more.
So that's what I'm saying. In that sense, if somebody my came up to me and was like, oh yeah, I met my friend at a club, but we're just friends, I would probably like, really, um, you know. So I feel like it just the context of where you meet them, um, the extent of like what the relationship is like, or what are you trying to get? Is there something like common interest, common goal of like whatever there is, there might be something between y'all. Um, I think that's different than like you just I don't know meet somebody at, like I said, a club or any sort of social gathering. I don't know. That's just my take on it. What do you think?
Well, I'm looking at a article on the same subject, and it says that daily experience suggests that non-romantic friendships between males and females are not only possible but common due to the fact that we live and work and we play side by side.
Hmm.
If you are in a work relationship, how many friends do you have at work? And many times you never think in terms of romance. But it also says that the possibility remains that this apparently platonic coexistence is just a facade, an elaborate dance to cover up countless sexual impulses that are bubbling beneath the surface.
Hmm.
I'm not sure how valid that is. I think that it's a possibility, but again, I think it's more on the male side than the female side.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. When I was married and when I was living with Jaleesa, I definitely had a rack of female friends because I've always had female friends.
Hmm.
Because I'm a man who sincerely loves women. And I think that's because of how I grew up with a lot of female cousins, and women are just a natural part of my existence.
Hmm.
And I don't look at women, simply sexually. I mean, there are some women that I look at sexually who I'm attracted to, but the average woman, I'm not looking at her in a sexual way because that's not my mind process.
Hmm.
So my thought is I can have as many women friends as I care to, in the same way I have as many men friends as I care to.
Hmm.
And friendship to me is it's a different sort of um, process. Like how do you choose your friends? Like what are the qualities that you look for in a friend?
Right.
How much time do you spend with them? And why are you friends?
Right.
Like sometimes I meet guys who are sports fanatics like myself. So we naturally gravitate toward one another, especially if we're Eagles fans. I mean, like we're a whole club, all right? And that's a friendship that is just a natural extension.
Hmm.
And by the same token, I've met females who are rabid Eagles fans, and we have a natural affinity for each other. So in that context, you know, or the readers, or they like movies. I mean, there's always a reason why someone is your friend and you remain friends.
Right.
Usually because you have some things in common.
Yeah.
But the sexual attention comes in when you are stopped. Maybe you stop looking at that friend as a friend, and then have some ulterior motives, which may develop into something. And I think that that is what most women or most men who say, I mean, I know guys who say, my wife or girlfriend can't have no male friends.
Hmm.
They simply say, fuck that. There's no such thing as a male friend.
Hmm.
And I've never been like that because I never had a thought of a woman cheating on me. I mean, maybe it's an ego thing, you know, it could be, but it's just not a part of my makeup. I think if a person says that they are for you, then they're for you until they show you otherwise. So if you have male friends, I'm not thinking that, you're doing your male friend. That's the last thought on my mind. And if I find that out, I mean that's another circumstance, but I'm not focused in that direction.
Hmm.
So I really think it's how you view your relationship and what you're looking for.
Yeah, I would also I would agree with that. I think that a big part of it is your view on your relationship and like
Mhm.
your view on your partner. I think honestly, for a lot of males who are like, oh, you can't have any any male friends to their girlfriend or to their wife. I think that is more of a reflection on them, simply because it's like
Insecurity?
insecurity, and are they the type of male that only looks at females as sexual beings?
Mm.
Because
Mm.
if you're saying that, it means that you might feel that way because you don't want someone to do to your wife or girlfriend what you do to other women or what you have done to other women.
So you think that jealousy is a sign of maybe
Their own perception.
unfaithfulness getting ready to happen or currently happening?
Maybe not. Maybe not like they. They're not necessarily that they're unfaithful at that moment or anything, but maybe they just like they naturally see women in that way. So like if they like go and seek out a friend, they know that it's not a platonic.
They trying to hit.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, maybe that's my perception on it. Um, and I think that if you really know your partner well and trust your partner, which you should if you're in a relationship, um, there shouldn't even be oh well, I don't believe you that that's just your friend. Because I mean, if they say this is just my friend, until, like you said, until they show you otherwise, just believe them.
So let me ask this. I have a very good friend, who is frankly beautiful, and she's desired by a lot of guys. I mean, I think when she walks into a room, guys just naturally look at her and say, "Damn, that's." And she's smart and also talented, so it's like she's
the whole package.
yeah, triple threat. And she said to me not long ago that she fell in love with her best friend. That she and this guy who had known each other for quite some times, were very good friends, and then she realized that she wanted to be more than friends, and that he was the perfect guy for her because they were such good friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then the relationship blossomed into something more.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you see that as in that continuum of can men and women just be friends?
I say that's a slippery slope. So I don't have many male friends. Um, I
And that's a shame.
Yeah, it is a shame. It really is. And most of my male friends at some point in time have tried to come at me. Not all of them, but a good majority of
So let
them.
me ask,
Yeah.
in a slimy way or in a I appreciate you, I would like to have more of a relationship with you than just be friends?
Yeah, so it normally isn't like slimy or anything. I think they still respect me. I think that the relationships that I do have, like I think the one of the reasons why they came at me is because they know me to a certain extent, and they were friends. Like we generally are friends. Um, so, but it is unfortunate though because when that does happen, it really makes me uncomfortable because in my head we're friends. So for and a lot of them, I think of them as family. I've known them forever.
It's almost like your cousin didn't know you.
Yes, I'm like, come on
Guys,
now.
guys don't realize that though, and
Yeah, they
and
don't.
just let me make a public service announcement. Silly ass Negroes, when you have a good male friend, I mean female friend, the fastest way you can fuck it up is by trying to make it more than what it is.
Yeah.
And that's real, because now you're in a situation where she no longer feels comfortable around you,
Hmm.
and she really can't be your friend in the same way she was your friend before.
Yeah.
Because you said some dumb shit on the spur of the moment,
Yes.
thinking something was going to happen, when really inside your head you knew shit wasn't going to happen. You just shot your shot for the hell of it, and we do that sometimes.
Yes. Um, I completely agree. There has been times, and there's been times where I've made it very clear to my male friends that
You're just friends.
yeah, we're just friends, and they still try it.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Without a doubt.
Yeah,
But
and
but don't feel bad because women try it too. You know, and invariably, well, depending on how she looks, and what sort of relationship a guy is already in. I will say that some of my friends are honorable, and they've told me that someone's hit on me, and I told her no, it ain't happening, because I'm in a relationship, or um, most likely it's because she knows the girlfriend, and they ain't trying to get anything messy, But women do dumb shit too sometimes. Sometimes women mess up friendships because they're assuming because you're a man, all you want to do is hit.
Mhm.
And maybe they're feeling in the mood, or they're coming out of a relationship, and maybe they're looking for some rebound sex or something, and they will say something to you that is out of bounds, because you're not thinking of them in that sense. Because for, I mean, I can't speak for all men. I would never even assume that role, but I have some women friends who I really, really like as friends. And if they try to move it into another zone, I'm like, hold on, I mean, we're friends, and you're about to fuck this up. So I think that happens on both sides.
Mhm.
But I really do think that men and women can be friends if they have a clear view of what a friendship is. So I guess one of our questions should be, what constitutes a friendship?
Right. Like, what are the expectations of being a friend to someone? I would say one, there has to be some sort of commonality between you two.
Some common interests.
Common interest.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be like a major thing. Because why? I mean, why else would you be? If you have nothing in common with the person, there's. I mean, why are we talking really?
Maybe some shared cultural connections.
Mhm.
Same race or same, I don't know, same what?
Just similar experiences.
Yeah.
Something that you can relate to.
Maybe we went to college together, or you went to high school together,
Yeah.
or you live in the same neighborhood, or you're in another city, but you're from the same city,
Right. Yes.
and you have some shared memories.
Hmm. Something that draws you to the person because of whatever they've experienced or anything, who they are, anything like that. But I think in terms of expectations for me with my male friends, one of them is just that one is that we could just like have fun together, like chill together, and it not be weird. You cannot make me uncomfortable and think the friendship is going to work well.
Because after that, you don't even want to.
Yeah, because then I don't even want to be around you because
You
you
want
just
to
make
block.
me
You
uncomfortable.
want to block somebody on the phone.
Yeah.
This is a interesting comment, and I think that it speaks to what you were saying. Um, it says that males often assume that any romantic attraction they experienced was mutual and were blind to the level of romantic interest felt by their female friends. Women are often blind to the mindset of their opposite sex friends. They were, and when they're not attracted to them, they believe that the lack of attraction was mutual. But it says, as a result, men consistently overestimated the level of attraction felt by their female friends, and women underestimated the level of attraction felt by their male friends. I think that's really, really true.
I was going to say, I think that's pretty accurate. I think that is pretty accurate. And then, so, okay, what happens if you're in a relationship, but you're still friends with your ex? Maybe you've known each other for a long time,
Or you have children.
or you have children. Yeah, or you have children, or
That's
you're
often a problem.
married or something, and now you're divorced. Can you still be friends?
Or you're just not together.
Yeah,
I won't say divorce because so many folks don't even get married anymore.
that's true.
And one of the things that I consistently hear from females is, fuck that baby mama thing. Because he can always go back and get some from his baby's mother. I mean, I don't know how true that is. I think it's fairly true though, because oftentimes, especially among younger people, um, first children are also like a first love, or like a first real girlfriend, or it's a long-term relationship that was important, and it kind of set the tone for your future relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always some attraction there. I know guys who just you know routinely hit their kid's mother, regardless of what other relationships that they are developing. It's kind of weird when you think about it,
Yeah.
But I mean, in a strange way, it's like almost like going home on vacation or something. I don't know.
Yes, I think in those situations, it really is going to depend on how well you know your partner and their character. Because if you don't trust them and they haven't proven themselves trustworthy or honest, and they're in that type of situation where they have a baby mother or a baby father or anything like that, if you don't trust them, like, it's going to be very difficult to even have that relationship with them, because in that type of situation you have to be able to trust them because they have to be able to interact.
Yes.
um
They got to be together to discuss the children's welfare. They may be school events or
Yeah.
family events, or um, life is going to continually
Right.
throw you together.
And that's a situation where it's like you can't. You're not the parent. You're not the other parent, so you
Yes.
really can't
Yes.
put too much input into it and it actually be valid.
Another thing is, this is a little off topic, but I have a younger friend who is having a conflict with her baby's father because of the new girlfriend. And they're trying to co-parent, and one of the girls doesn't really like the fact that they have any kind of relationship. But when she sends her daughter over there on the weekend, he took the daughter to the girlfriend's house,
Mm-hmm.
and she really didn't appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the girlfriend, said something about spanking her, and it really set her off.
Oh,
So I think that um, when you commingle relationships like that, I mean, it's like uh, it's extremely difficult.
yeah, and that I'm sorry, I just gotta say that is just out of line. You talking about spanking somebody
Listen, it's not a
else's
line, but
child?
you know how some of y'all get. You know,
How?
that's many times black women feel like any child inside of their circle who's not acting in a proper way should be chastised. There's a difference between chastising a child and actually putting your hands on a child. You know, but and some kids are like have very smart mouths at a young age, and this little girl does have a
Very smart mouth.
oh yeah,
Oh.
and she's very smart. Kids nowadays are much more developed, not only mentally but just more advanced.
Mm-hmm.
4, 5, and 6 year olds are talking better. They're thinking more clearly, and they've been exposed to more
Mm-hmm. At a younger
life
age.
situations at a younger age. And kids tend to express what they see in very clear terms, and often through what Netflix, TV,
Social media.
yes, social media, and kids nowadays grow up with a phone in their hands from the time they're one in. How many kids have you seen walking down the street on a bus anywhere with their parents' phone,
Right.
and the parent is actually using that phone to babysit them, or just um, pacify them.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear all sorts of things on the phone. So
That's true. And on YouTube,
oh
kids love
yes,
YouTube.
yes.
There's a lot of stuff on YouTube.
There's a lot of things on YouTube that kids shouldn't even be watching.
Yeah.
But they watch it anyway. The way kids dance on YouTube is frankly scandalous. But so many parents just look at it as, oh, that's a kid thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's far more than that. But you're right. No girlfriend should be thinking about putting her hands on another woman's child.
Yeah.
That's the fastest way to
No.
get seriously beat up. And I'm not about violence against women or violence between women. But frankly, I mean that's something that I would probably, not really be upset about. If someone said she got to ask it why, because she put her hands on little Tamia. She did what? Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she got to ask it.
Mm-hmm.
That just be what it be.
But anyway, in terms of friends, okay, so do you have any long-term friends that maybe you grew up with who,
Female?
yeah, female friends who at one point in time like crossed that line and like tried to come at you and they messed it up?
Mm, a couple, um, but I tend to be more forgiving, and just think it was aberration, or like at that time that's how they were feeling. But let's look at the length of our relationship. But I still have good friends who I've been I mean I have friends who I've had relationships with, and it's long over, and we're still friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I tend not to want to throw away people simply because life circumstances change,
Yeah.
and because friends are important.
Yeah.
You know, friends are really like family, especially as you get older. Like my dad is a 93, and I've watched him outlive most of his male friends and most of his female friends, and he had a lot of female friends. But a lot of his female friends were also, at some point in time, they were girlfriends because he was a mess. So I think that the older you get, the more you value the concept of friendship, and you really need to look at the memories you've created, the the things you've been through, and why let sex get in the way of what is a otherwise great relationship.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I think that's a good point. I think I've had, hmm, I have a few like long term friends who have crossed that line at one point in time, but I think it's has been, come down to just me setting the tone of what our relationship is going to be, and we're still friends. Like I kind of agree with you in that. Like I don't think it's worth throwing away a friendship, especially when you've been friends for years, for something like that, especially when you set the tone real quick, I will say I do have one, I literally have one, okay, yeah, one male friend who I've known him for a very long time, and he has never in life tried anything, said anything that made me uncomfortable. Like literally just one though. And sometimes it has gotten me to the point where I'm thinking,
And his name is Saint what?
yeah, he is a saint. He really is. Sometimes he literally has me thinking, like, questioning him, even though he's never given me a reason to question him, but just naturally questioning him just because at some point in time, one of my other male friends has, tried to come at me. So I just assumed that he might eventually, but he never has, and he's never made me feel uncomfortable. Um, so those are really the relationships I value tremendously, tremendously, because it's so
As you
rare.
should.
Yeah.
I guess it is rare. And I'd be very interested, as to what folks who are watching this podcast thinks, and I really can't wait for the time when we have, a larger equipment base and we can take live questions and listen to what people actually think. Um, it is increasingly rare for men to have long-term relationships and never have hit on the person, but I can think of quite a few women in my life who have been long-term friends, who've been friends. I came home from prison in 2009, and over the 10 years I've been home, I've made a lot of good women friends, and I also have had friends who were friends before I was incarcerated. I mean, they're long-term friends. Um, they've been friends 40, 50 years, and I count them as almost a part of my family. But I think what's difficult for a man, and it may not be for a woman. I don't know. You'll have to tell me. But I have female friends who I know like me more than just as a friend, and they would like to pursue it, but I've never given them any indication that I'd be receptive to it. So they keep that boundary, but you know that they would like more.
Hmm.
And that's just you're just not interested in that way. So sometimes it's like hard to navigate that terrain and not hurt their feelings or not say anything that would make them think you've changed your mind or you're
Hmm.
considering. That's it's kind of difficult sometimes.
Yeah, I would say in that situation, to be honest, for me, I've just probably played naive, like in terms of just like
I do
making them,
sometimes.
yeah, making them believe like, oh, I don't even know what you're talking about. There's no way, just keep them in that mindset so that way they know that you're not even thinking in that direction. Because if you do, and you just give them an inch, it might try and take a mile.
Oh, without a doubt,
Yeah.
without a doubt. I mean, I've had some guys laugh at me when I say this, because I've had some women hit on me and I just said I'm not interested. And they're like, "Are you fucking crazy?" I mean, just
You actually had someone say this to you?
what guys?
No. Oh, the guy said that.
Well, the guys say,
Oh,
yeah,
okay, okay.
are you nuts? She offered you that and you turned it down. I mean, like, what's wrong with you? But you can see. I mean, I'm not saying I'm psychic, but you can see the future. I mean, if you accept sex from a person that you're not particularly attracted to, and they're attracted to you, that's a disaster waiting to happen. You know, you're trading a momentary sexual high for oh, all kind of misery down the road.
Mhm.
Because that's not many times men will, you know, take sex. I think just for what it is. You know, a physical attraction that you are both satisfied.
Mhm.
And I have met some women who have similar thoughts, but more often than not, a woman will start out saying, "This is just a physical relationship," and you're, "All right, that's cool," and we're just gonna get together on occasion, enjoy each other, and no strings are attached. But it rarely continues to be that.
Mhm.
So why even? I mean, if you can see she's a person who's going already has feelings or is going to fall in love, and you aren't in that space, it's just not a good look. It really is.
Yeah, I think so many men just kind of take that as, even if they know that they don't want a relationship and they just continue to be physically intimate, at that point, to me, they're just taking advantage at that point. Because I don't know, it's tricky. Because I feel like a guy could argue that I'm not taking advantage of her if like she wants it, but it's like, are you taking advantage of her if like you know that she wants more than just the physicalness,
Yes.
So it's like,
And you have no intention of giving more.
right, right.
And I think that sometimes there's a power imbalance. I'm very conscious in when I do have relationships of what the power dynamic is. If as an older, um, fairly distinguished person, you sometimes are in situations where folks look up to you, or they think that you have a certain status, or they respect your work, and there's a power imbalance. If they're younger, less educated, more naive, and I think that's sometimes the attraction between older men and younger women is that mentoring, impressed component that is offered there. And I don't think that's something you should take advantage of simply to get sex. I mean, it's kind of slimy.
I'll say that ties back into like, what are your expectations of a friendship? I think a key component would be a mutual admiration. You guys have to be on the same level to some extent to make it. How I say this, like, if there is a power imbalance and one person admires the other person more, then that person who's very admirable might become the target of, oh, I want them because they do this. Versus if both of them are both admiring of each other, there's a more better balance. So it's like, I mean, yes, I respect you for what you do, and I know you respect me for what I do, but I feel like it's easier to separate. Oh, do I like that person just because of that, or do I just like respect their work?
Right. And here's an interesting thought. It says that friendships should be a pairing of equals,
Mhm.
and that may not always be possible depending upon where persons are in life. But equality can come in many different forms. It doesn't have to be educational, or it doesn't have to be financial. Um, it should be at least they're both bringing certain attributes to the table that are more balanced. But it says that in a culture where men have always been more equal than women, male dominance, prestige, and power is baggage that both men and women are likely to bring to a relationship. So that fits into that situation where in a friendship, um, where's the power balance? And if women are assuming a more submissive role in a cross-sex friendship, then at some point in time there may be that pressure from the male to make it more than just a friendship,
Hmm.
which is unfortunate.
Hmm. Yeah, I would say for women in general, I think it's so important for us to be able to hold our own in any kind of relationship that we're involved in. And I think that women have like been on the rise, of just gets learning more about ourselves, gaining more independence, and so on and so forth. But I think there is still such a disproportion in the amount of uh, tendency, and this could I could be right, I could be wrong, but in terms of the numbers of women who are have like their own personal goals of what they want to do with their life versus this idea of women waiting around trying to find a man to take care of them and not really chasing after what they want, or maybe if they
Or find
are
a man to help
chasing,
them on the way.
yeah, if they are chasing what they want that help, they want that assistance instead of just like, oh, I can do it on my own regardless of if I have someone or not. And I think that plays a role in if you can have a friend, you know, because if that friend is more advanced or just at a higher space than you are, that might turn into you seeking them.
So what about how would you look at male mentorship? I mean, there are some situations where um, men are in a stronger position in terms of business or education or
Mm.
in certain fields, and they have an interest in you know mentoring a woman. I
Mm.
mean, is that always? I mean, do you view that as being genuine, or is that a subtle way of sucking them into eventually some sort of hit?
Yeah, I think it of course depends on the person. Because I think there's definitely a lot that in a lot of situations that women can learn from men. So, but I think it would come down to the man, whoever is in like a higher position. You have to set the tone of what their relationship is. So if you really want to mentor someone who's younger than you or opposite sex person, you have to make sure you set the tone from jump of, okay, I want to help you. I see your potential, yada yada. But this is what it is. You come to me for this. And then if they were to cross that boundary, you set the tone of, oh no, this is what our relationship, this is the extent of our relationship. Um, and I think especially like that, this goes like if you're in a relationship with someone, if there's someone who tries to cross that boundary, it's literally just up to you to set the tone of what it is. Either they respect it or they don't respect it. If they don't respect it, then you have to reconsider, am I going to continue to interact with that person? Because if you do continue to interact with them and they continue to disrespect your relationship, I mean, to me at that point, you're disrespecting the person because you're disrespecting their wishes. You're disrespecting something that they hold dear to them. So
And sometimes you got to hurt folks' feelings. You
yeah,
know, have you never hurt a guy's feelings and said, "Listen, you're the last thing on my mind."
I haven't said it like that, but
But you should. Sometimes we need to hear that.
hmm
You know, sometimes we need to hear a woman say, "Oh, what's this thing my sister says? Oh, it's not what if. It's like I wish I was on like the the, the program where you could send a lifeline and she tells me what it is. But basically, she's saying, "How could you think I would ever consider?"
hmm
But it's a short thing. I mean, isn't that long? It's like it's not what I ever, but it's
something like that.
yeah, it's like she's saying, "How could you think I would ever give you something? Is you fucking crazy?" That's what she's saying, but
Just
she's
a
not
different
saying that,
word.
yeah,
Yeah.
in
Okay.
that way. And that, sometimes we need to hear that,
hmm
because I know some guys who will like, one friend in particular, he would hit on anything moving, and has no,
Standards.
he definitely has no standards. But I was gonna say he has no shame, and he has no conscience. Where if a woman, just says no, it's like, all right, they go to the next one, and sometimes I really think you need to hear a woman say, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" You know, you think I would actually take my clothes off for you? Who are you? I mean, like, you have nothing I want, and I just think that sometimes as men, we don't think that that's possible. And that a woman would just say it that bluntly, and we need to hear it sometimes.
I think, just speaking from a woman's perspective, that there is a level of, depending on who the person is. But if you are a woman and a guy hits on you, I think there is a level of being reserved on how you may respond, not just because of who you might be, but because of the reaction you might get from the man. I know there are a lot of situations where women sometimes get scared that if a man, if you say something that a man doesn't like, I mean, and especially if you don't know them like that, they could curse at you. They could get violent. I swear, I saw a tweet one time. It was a guy came and hit on a woman, and she like shut him down. I think maybe she might have said it in just like not a way he liked, and he punched her in the face.
Whoa,
Yes,
wow,
yes,
that's ultra sensitive.
yeah, yes. And I think that stems from men never being told no. If you get to a place where you get that upset if someone tells you no, that you feel the need to put your hands on somebody, you need to go to counseling like ASAP.
You
Because
need more than counseling. You need to
might
be
need
in
to go
court.
to jail. Yeah, you
Yeah, I
probably
mean,
go to
like,
jail. But you do
I'm
need
not an
counseling.
advocate for
Like,
jail, but if you punch a woman in the face because you hit on her and she said no, you out of bounds.
yeah,
She need to have some brothers or cousins or a father
yeah.
that's homicidal. I can't imagine somebody punching. Yes, I can't imagine somebody punching one of my granddaughters in the face because
Yeah,
they said. And I got some cute little granddaughters.
yeah.
I wish a nigga would. That's crazy.
Yeah, that. So when I saw that, when I read that, and I also saw, I was actually reading another article this past weekend, and it was on interactions in the gym of guys coming up to women in the gym, and this woman was
That's
talking
because
about.
the gym is like a. I mean, no disrespect to you, because you know, that's your work area. But to many guys, a gym is like a club.
Yeah.
They go to a gym not only to work out, but to pick up. And they assume that women are there for the same reason. You don't see that? See that when you're
No, I
in that
see
environment?
it, and I hate it. I hate it, because for me, being a trainer, one, that is my workspace, right? So when I go to the gym, especially if I'm with a client, but even when I'm not with a client, when I
You
go
just
to
go
the
to work
gym,
out.
yeah, when I just go to work out, I'm going to the gym to work on myself. Like I'm in the zone, especially once I put my headphones in. There is no like, don't talk to me unless it's an emergency. You don't really need to be talking to me because I'm in my zone. And I've had men say the most ridiculous things to me at the gym, or just bother me. Like I could be on the mat by myself in the corner, headphones on, walking up to me, completely interrupting my workout to say nothing of value or importance. One time,
Nothing even vaguely interesting.
yeah, no, not at all. One time, this older gentleman came. I was with a client. She was a younger black female. Came up to me and was like, "Oh, y'all must be getting ready for the prom."
The prom?
The prom.
Hey.
The prom. Yes, mind you, I'm 23 and she's 27, and it frustrated me so much. Is
He was in his
because
50s?
I don't know, but he was like older. I can't tell how old he
Who
was.
even says the fucking prom in there? The prom?
The prom, and the fact that if that was another
He ain't been out in a
man,
while.
he would have never went. Even if it was like a younger boy, right? Like if he thought it was maybe he thought he was like 18 or something, and he thought he was going to prom. he would not go up to him talking about, oh, you must be getting ready for prom. No one would ever say that to a
He didn't
man.
even think about it.
He would literally, and that bothered me so much. Um, but yeah, so in terms of like friendships,
Is that all he said? I mean,
yes,
that-
yes. He's like, y'all must be getting ready for prom.
that wasn't a preliminary to anything else.
No, I was like, we didn't really give him much of a response because, and like, what am I going to say that's not rude?
Yes,
That-
my dress is in the other room. So my friend's working out. I'm gonna go try it on. I'm trying to get down to a size 2. Yes.
And just with the expectation of women are only there to work for superficial reasons and not actually to be healthy. That too. But I think in that situation, that's an example of if you can't like if you just meet someone in the gym or wherever and the man comes up to the woman first, I think a lot of the times it's hard for men who have girlfriends to actually expect that someone who just came up to them randomly kind of and didn't have like a specific schedule or like specific interaction that brought them together, it's hard to believe that they would actually just want to just be their friend. Because at the end of the day, they probably came up to them in the first place because they thought they were attractive to a certain extent. Because there's not many men that just go up to women who they don't find attractive and just start talking unless they're brought together for a specific reason.
That's true.
You know? So that's why I would say like if you are brought together for a specific reason and you make that friend for that specific reason, then cool. But if you are literally just at the gym, you just decide to go talk to a woman.
Spontaneously
Yeah, like what are you doing?
There's usually some kind of motive.
Exactly. Most of the time.
Because really, the women friends who I've made, that I just didn't know when we became friends. It was at an event or at a community gathering.
Right.
Or, we're in that space for some reason.
Right. Exactly.
We're at a rally or we're taking a class or it's something. But I'm just not in the habit of going up to a strange woman and just saying anything.
Right.
And I just think that it's boorish behavior, and I really, really wish that my younger brothers would consider the fact that an attractive woman gets hit on so many times a day that it is beyond ridiculous. And you're just adding to that burden when you say some dumb shit that she's heard
1,000
just
times.
1,000 times. Because how many original things can you really say to a woman?
Yeah.
That she hasn't heard. And to me, the only original thing that can be said is if she says something to you and she's waiting for a response. Because she's finding you attractive and she's making that approach.
Mm-hmm.
And then, whatever you say may or may not be something she wants to hear. But other than that, let it go. It's not that serious.
And I would just say, for all the men out there, as a tip, if you are trying to hit on one young woman who is very attractive, and like John and I said, a lot of the times, pretty women are used to getting hit on. So they've heard a lot of the same things over and over again. So I think, for my personal opinion, it is better when you come in a way that is platonic, simply because a simple, hey, beautiful, or something, what's the
It's
word?
tired.
It's tired. It's like, okay, give me something new, like something I haven't heard before, not like.
But how much is it new? I mean, like, I've seen like pickup line books. I'm like, damn, if you need a manual of pickup lines to approach a woman, I mean, you're already in a pretty sad place. That's weird.
Yeah, that's why I think it's so important. Like, if you find a woman attractive, I think it's so important to like realize, okay, what else did you find attractive about the woman? It's like easy to like physical attraction is very superficial. Like, you can be physically attracted to anybody and it not mean anything. So I think it's important, like, if you are physically attracted to somebody, okay, well then try and seek out the reasons why you're also attracted to them, or why you could potentially be attracted to them. Because if you're approaching someone and it's strictly physical, then it's like, well, I mean, that's cool. I guess, a lot of guys would argue, okay, well, I see the physical attraction and then I, have to approach you so that eventually I could get to know you to see if there is another type of attraction there. Um, but I don't know.
That's kind of ass backwards.
I'm really what
That kind of thinking.
to think that um, I'm really thinking of like if you're like walking out on the street and like you just see a woman that's attractive,
Mhm.
and then you just decide, oh, I want to talk to her because she's cute, and then maybe I can get to know her to see if I actually like her.
Oh, I see.
That type of situation.
Okay.
But I was more so thinking about when I first started, just about like social media and stuff. Of you, if you see someone on social media and okay, they're attractive, I would do my like little research just to see if there's anything about her or on her page that might
Yes.
like give some
Look at a
sort
person's
of
page.
indication that there might be something else to her besides a pretty face. So that way, when you do approach her, you have something else to say besides, why are you so fine?
And many times a page, if you're a thinking person, a page will dissuade you from saying something to somebody
Mm-hmm.
because you have no idea how many times. Well, I do a thing with. I get a lot of friend requests, because I'm, a
Active in the community.
yeah, active in the community. And the first thing I do when I get friend requests, male or female, is I look at somebody's page. And two things. First, I look at mutual friends, and you know how you have 6 friends displayed on everybody's page. If somebody sends me a request and I go to their page, and I know all 6 of the people that are displayed there,
Mm.
that's an automatic plus, because that means that a lot of their interests and their lives already coincide with what I'm doing. But what I also do is I just scroll through the page,
Mm.
and I see what they post. And many times what they post and they talk about is indicative of who they are. I've looked at women's pages who only have pictures of themselves on their page. I mean, and their whole page is like, you know,
A model portfolio.
yes, and you're not a model.
Yeah.
So what the hell is that? It's all you do is take selfies and no, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And you can really tell what a person thinks by their social media,
or just what they're about.
yes.
If they're, I think that's a good point. If they're like only posting selfies or just like cute pictures, there's a level of okay, well, what else is there to that person? Because most of the time, if a person has different levels to them, they will show some sort of that level on their page.
Yeah, you ain't even stopped to, hit the part about, the books you read or the movies you like.
Right.
I mean, you're just posting selfies and,
Right.
ridiculous things.
So can you make friends on social media?
Oh yeah.
While you're in a relationship?
That's a little, more sketchy, but I think
You think you can?
I've got a sister from New York, who I became friends with on social media, and she's a community activist, and she runs the new Black Power page, and she's one of the smartest people I've ever met. And many times, invariably, when I go online, I will flick to her page and I'll see what she likes, and when she likes something, it often comes up on my page.
Mm-hmm.
And I've rarely, if ever, seen her like something or comment on something that wasn't profound or a different point of view. And she's become a good friend. And we argue and fight sometimes, because we have some different ideas. But I consider her a friend, and I never met her. I mean, at some point in time, I'm going to meet her, because she's in New York and I'm here. And I think that, we'll meet at some, convention or meeting or somewhere. And I'm looking forward to it because I feel like she's already a friend. And say I'm dating someone, who I'm feeling like I'm committed to, and it blossoms to something more, right? The woman in my life who I'm already friends with, if she has a problem with that, that's going to be a barrier to us being closer. Because I have a lot of women friends who are my friends in the same way that the males are my friends. So if you're not going to object to me and John being friends, you know, why are you objecting to me and Aisha being friends? When we've been friends, you know, a longer period of time, and she's been more important in my life than this person or this person or this person.
So, question: what if your male friends, you're in a relationship, and your male friends don't respect your relationship?
What does that mean?
Meaning,
In what way?
they're always trying to get you to go out with them and meet women, or like kind of be like a wingman, or try and put you on to someone, or whatever the case may be. They're not respecting you trying to be faithful
Well,
because they don't care.
one, I think the wingman thing is overrated. You know, um, I have friends who call me and say, "Let's go out and get a Corona," and we do. And we'll be in a bar, and we may or may not, say things to women depending on what our status is. But I think that real friends who respect you as a person will respect your status if you're in a relationship. Now, I think what a bigger problem is, for men, and myself included, is when you have a friend who you really like, and you like their person who's in a relationship with them, and they not only fuck around on them, but try to involve you in it.
Hmm.
I think that's a bigger problem. I don't really have a problem with um, guys trying to link me with somebody because I can do well, one for my own if that's my focus. I think it's not everyone views their relationship as sacred, and when you like their girlfriend or their wife, then it's like you fucked up. You're not going to break the code and go tell the woman that my man is cheating on you, because who does that? I'm not going to do that. But by the same token, you don't like to be in a situation where you know shit, and now when she finds out, it's going to be like, oh,
You
John
know.
Dye knew that, and he ain't saying nothing to me. Well,
Hmm.
I was never going to snitch on a man, but don't even put me in a position where I
Now
even
you're
have
holding
to,
the
yeah.
secret too.
And definitely don't ask me to, you know, because I'm a bachelor and I have a crib. Don't ask me to be Motel 6. I mean, that's out of bounds. I come up.
Yeah.
And I've had guys ask me that, and they get mad when I say, no, hold up, I'm not doing that. You know, why would I do that? Because you're my man. No, I'm not your man like that, bro.
You say, if I'm really
Pay
your
to play.
man, I'm gonna look out for you and hold you accountable to the commitment that you made.
You know what I say? I'm really your man. And the same way you can't ask me that, your girl couldn't ask me that. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what would you say? Here, say you're in a relationship, right? And your girl comes up to you, or your woman, not girl, woman comes up to you and says, John Dye, I met someone at this cookout, and they become friends. You become friends with them. So now everybody's friends.
Okay.
And then he steps out of bounds.
Oh, hits on her?
Yes.
Mm.
How do you feel? What are you doing? What's your first reaction?
And this is one of my friends
So
hitting on my girl?
So yes, it is your friend, but you met him through her.
Okay, so it was really her friend.
Yes, but now you're all friends. And then one day he steps out around. What are you doing? What's your reaction?
I would definitely not be happy. I mean, I've never had that happen. Or I've never known it to happen. Maybe it did happen, and I just was blissfully unaware of it because I was, moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
I think in that situation, might work out one of several ways. Um, I know sometimes that, in fact, my sister told me this recently. We discussed relationships, and she said that a longtime friend of hers, husband, hit on her, and she straightened him out and said, I'm never going to tell your wife you did that because it would crush her, but know that, never say anything like that to me again. We'll slap the shit out of you. I mean, she said it, you know, in those kind of words.
Mm.
And I view that as a similar scenario when someone that you trust, you know, and who knows your relationship. And to me, that's even worse because this was her girlfriend. How can your girlfriend's man hit on you? I mean, that's like a level of betrayal that is, pretty profound.
Yeah.
I think that between men, there's supposed to be some sort of code that says, you know, I would never hit on your girl, because, we are friends. Even if it's like what you're saying, a new friend. Now, a lifelong friend, you wouldn't even think that
Right.
because he's supposed to be like your brother. I mean,
Right.
that'd be like your brother or your cousin, hitting on a girl you're talking to. But even if a person is a new friend who you've just brought into your circle and you're beginning to develop a friendship, that would mean to me we can't be friends anymore because you don't understand a basic level of friendship is being able to leave my woman sitting in your living room and I go and do whatever, and I come back and y'all are still talking and nothing's going on that would
Right.
not have gone on if I was sitting right there watching.
Right.
Because I don't feel the need to watch.
Yeah.
You know, once you get to be a certain age and have a certain maturity level, there shouldn't be a time when you have to sneak around or spy on your partner
Hmm.
or go through their phone or ask somebody to watch them. I've even heard of girls, getting a girlfriend that their man don't know to like,
Trying to come with them.
yeah, just to see if he's gonna be faithful.
Hmm.
To me, that's some dumb shit.
Yeah.
I mean, you're potentially arranging a temptation scenario that would have never happened unless you arranged it.
Interfered.
Yeah. So if he falls for it, it's like you trapped him into being unfaithful, and now you're mad because he's unfaithful. What the hell is that?
That is a tricky situation.
No, it's not. It's a dumb situation, you know. And I think any female who thinks, and I've even seen it on TV. They have those shows where, they, the craziest show on TV to me,
Hmm.
Cheaters. Have you watched that?
I don't think I've seen that.
You never seen Cheaters?
I don't watch a lot of TV.
Listen, you need to watch. If we're going to do a love relationship show together, do me a favor. For homework, watch episode of Cheaters.
Okay.
It's the weirdest shit in the world. I mean, and it really, because you've seen it. I do not understand why somebody hasn't been murdered on Cheaters. Because what they do is, say for example, you suspect your boyfriend of cheating.
Hmm.
All right, you write the Cheaters producers. They put a team of detectives and photographers on your man. They follow him around until they catch him cheating. They film everything. Then they bring it back to you, show you the evidence, and then on camera you go and confront them wherever they're at.
Mm.
A motel, a restaurant. I mean, I've seen, you know, it's a funny ass show, but it really shows you the level of deceit that people will engage in and knowingly just do all sorts of things to a person who they claim to love and respect and want to have in their life. It's the weirdest show on TV.
Well, to wrap it up, long story short, make sure if you are having friends and you opposite sex friends and you're in a relationship, just make sure you are respectful. You have set your expectations in your relationship of the different or what you're comfortable with in terms of them having other friends, and just trust them. And if you don't trust them, don't be with them.
And you definitely can have friendships that are opposite sex of friendships. You have to set boundaries. Um, you need to have some mutual interests, and you need to have some reasons to be friends. You know, if you're going to expect your partner to respect friendships that you have in place, then one, they need to be real friendships. They need, and they need to have some value. If you ask yourself, what value does this person bring to my life?
Right.
You know, going back to the original question we asked, what is friendship, and what are the parameters of your friendship, and why are they in your life in the first place? But especially when you have had friends who are like lifelong friends, then there's no reason to even think about the veracity of those friendships. You know, I got a couple female friends who I've known since elementary school. You know, no woman could come into my life and question that friend. Look, I come over to my father's house. Here's the scrapbook. There's us in the third grade. What the fuck are you talking about? That's my friend's always been my friend, and nothing's ever going on.
Yeah.
So I think that you have to look at the reality of your lives, and for those who say they're friends, there's really something slimy going on. Y'all cut that shit out. Y'all the reason why your husbands or your wife or your girlfriends or your boyfriends distrust the very notion of male and women. I mean, males and females being friends.
Yes.
We believe that it definitely can happen and can be a positive thing in your life. But if you're using friendship as a cover for, an adulterous relationship, or just a sex relationship, then when it blows up on you, I mean, it is what it is. Whatever drama comes into your life, you deserve that because you haven't been upfront with your partner. And one of the things that I think we want to stress on the Love and Relationship show is, yes, you can find love, and yes, you can build good relationships. But it takes work, it takes dedication, and above all, it takes honesty. If you don't have honesty in your relationship, you're only fooling yourself. You don't really have a relationship. You're just two people who are inhabiting the same space for a variety of reasons. As always, in closing, we want to say love, peace, and respect your relationships, and have full, happy, and fulfilling relationships. Right?
Yeah. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Last thing, bro and sis, keep it to bro and sis. Don't have people thinking, oh, that's my brother, I know him forever, and then you really being intimate with him. Now you're messing it up for everybody.
Yes.
Okay?
Especially for the folks who love you. They ain't gonna love you long.
Right.
Peace.